All right, let's jump right into this explainer and break down a seriously exciting, high-impact internship opportunity happening right now in Bengaluru. We are looking at a role that sits right at the bleeding edge of the automotive industry. General Motors is hiring an intern for die engineering. Now, don't let that traditional title fool you, because this is essentially an AI and NX Open developer role. It completely merges hardcore software coding with mechanical engineering. So if you've ever wanted to write code that literally builds the future of transportation, you are definitely in the right place.
So why are we looking at a massive zero? Well, GM's entire global vision starts with this one concept: zero. Specifically, zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. Every single line of code you write and every single design workflow you automate in this internship feeds directly into that massive world-changing vision. They're looking for innovators who really embrace the responsibility of making the world safer and more equitable. And honestly, it all starts right here, with the foundational engineering processes you'd be working on day in and day out. Now, what exactly is die engineering automation? It acts as this fascinating bridge between two totally distinct worlds. It's the process of using artificial intelligence and code to streamline, enhance, and automate interactive design workflows within computer-aided design systems, specifically Siemens NX. If you're studying computer science or IT, this is exactly how your coding skills can directly revolutionize automotive engineering. You aren't just building typical web apps here. You're automating the very systems that design the physical machines we rely on every single day. Okay, let's get the absolute non-negotiable logistics out of the way real quick. This is an on-site role based in Bengaluru, working a general shift of 45 hours per week for a 6-month duration. You're going to be expected to report to the GMTCI office 5 times a week, which is great because it means you get real, hands-on, in-person mentorship. Crucially, though, GM does not provide immigration-related sponsorship for this role, so no H-1B, TN, or STEM OPT. It's strictly for folks who don't require sponsorship now or in the future. So, who is eligible? The main thing to note is you must be a current third-year or final-year student pursuing a master's or bachelor's degree. But look at the diversity in these eligible disciplines. We've got automotive technology, mathematics, statistics, computer science, and information technology. This just proves that GM isn't solely looking for traditional mechanical engineers anymore. They are actively hunting for analytical minds and software developers to completely rethink and modernize how their engineering actually gets done.
Section 1. The mission. Building future workflows.
This is where the magic happens. Your core tasks map perfectly to some incredibly cutting-edge tools. You're going to use computer vision tools like OpenCV and Tesseract OCR to extract critical data straight from engineering drawings. You'll deploy C# and the NX Open API to completely automate repetitive CAD tasks. Plus, you get to leverage generative AI to streamline interactive design processes and integrate with external systems. You're basically building the brain that makes the CAD software work smarter. And hey, here is a pro tip for your interview prep. You should absolutely prepare specific examples of how you've experimented with generative AI and OCR tools in your past projects. Naturally, you're going to need a pretty solid coding arsenal for this. Proficiency in C# using the NX Open API, that is an absolute mandatory requirement. But it doesn't stop there. You need Python skills too, specifically data handling libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. You'll also need to know your way around setting up an NX Python environment and debugging scripts. Plus, mastering journaling, which is just recording and replaying actions, is essential for streamlining those workflows. Again, if you're prepping for the interview, make sure you can clearly articulate your troubleshooting process and how you write clean, scalable code. They are definitely going to test your debugging logic. But remember, you're not coding in a vacuum here. You'll be deeply involved in the mechanical side of things. You need to manage NX entities, stuff like edges, faces, bodies, and components within the NX assembly tree. You'll be automating batch processing workflows, dealing with NX feature tree management, part modeling, surfacing, and drafting. And if you have familiarity with CAM and CAE, that's a fantastic bonus. Essentially, because you are coding the CAD software itself, you really have to understand it, right down to mechanical fixture design and geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. Section 2, the culture, your competitive edge. Okay, so we know the heavy tech requirements, but what makes a candidate truly stand out from the pile? To get that competitive edge, you need to be more than just a great coder. You need killer soft skills. Problem solving and analytical thinking are a given, sure, but you'll also be collaborating with cross-functional teams to gather software requirements. That means you need top-tier communication skills. And honestly, perhaps most importantly for a developer, you need clear and concise documentation abilities. You aren't just writing scripts for yourself, you're building solutions for the whole engineering team to use. Clean code and clear documentation will absolutely make you a superstar here. And what kind of culture are you bringing these skills into? Well, GM is deeply committed to an inclusive, equal opportunity workplace. They genuinely want every single employee to feel they belong to one General Motors team. They're actively fostering a space free of discrimination because they know that when people feel a sense of belonging, they build better products. Also, it's worth noting, if you have a disability and need reasonable accommodations to assist with your job search or application, they have a dedicated process for that. You can email them or call 1-800-865-7580, just providing your specific accommodation request and the job title. They want the best talent, period, and they're ready to support you.
Section 3. The action plan. Prepare and apply. All right, here is your literal game plan. Before you jump into an interview, you need to prep your topics and fill in any skill gaps. So, step 1, head over to learning.cosmiclatteindia.in. It is an incredible resource to prepare for your interview, brush up on those mandatory C# and Python skills, and actually get a real feel for the kind of on-the-job training you'll experience. Once you're confident and ready to go, step 2 is to submit your application for the specific GM role directly at jobs.cosmiclatteindia.in. And finally, step 3, while you're on that portal, look around. Explore the site because you can discover plenty of other similar high-impact job opportunities that match these exact same next-gen tech skills. With this incredible mission ahead of you, merging generative AI, computer vision, and mechanical design to push towards a world of zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion, the only question left to ask is, are you ready to automate the future? So go check out those Cosmic Latte links to upskill and apply. Thanks for learning with me today on this explainer, and get ready to code the future of automotive engineering.